Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, a podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick. And now, for Power Play, Counting the Days, J.R. and Jimmy. Let's see. 8:35 a.m. Eastern. The private plane carrying Jim and Betsy departs from Washington, D.C. to Bowling Green Regional Airport, where they would be going to the Holiday Inn to speak to the Kentucky Federation of Business. After that, they would stay in the hotel and leave until leaving at 2 p.m. to speak at the Legacy Christian Academy High School to the freshman entering class. Please note all times hereafter, until further notice, are going to be will be Central Time. 9:15 a.m. Jim makes a 30-minute speech to the Kentucky Federation of Business as a keynote address. He would stay until the convention until 11 and check into the hotel and enjoy time until 2 p.m. 11:10 a.m. After checking into the hotel, Jim and Betsy decided to change and go for a swim in the indoor swimming pool. At the same time, I finished my qualifying heat in the last place. Charlie and I were both disqualified for next week's swim meet in Austin, Texas. 12:30 p.m. I called the car service to pick up me and Cam. You have a good taste of car service, Ken said. When we got into the car, I asked him a question. Ken, how do you keep it together? Most of us from the old days, they keep under the same old prep school. And me and you, we moved on. I told you the answer last year. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it's made all the difference in the world. At least to me, Ken said. The taxi driver drove us to Casa Norte, a Mexican restaurant in Waco. 1:15 p.m. Sitting on one of the benches outside the restaurant, JR and Ken talk. Oh man, am I full, Ken said. Man, I am too. I wish I hadn't ate that last burrito, JR said. Man, every time we eat Mexican, you are having a damn burrito. Why can't you mix it up? Don't be so hard on me. I've already been disqualified for next week's swim meet. Man, I'm sorry. Look, whatever happens, I love you. 1:30 p.m. Back in the car, Ken and JR talk. I miss the old days, Ken said. What's to miss about it? I mean, Jim and Bob Horton don't even bother come up with this weekend. He used to be a real good friend, but now he's still stuck up a good to talk to me. I mean, you mean You miss the old days, fresh out of prep school, when we saw everything was cool, Gerald said. No, what I miss is traveling throughout the whole country last summer like I did with you. 2 p.m. Jim speaks at Legacy Christian Academy freshman class along with their parents. 3 p.m. In the hotel room, Betsy and Jim hash out their disagreements. Jim says although he would really like for Betsy to come with him on his business trip, he understands and says that she could go home to her mama Tuesday morning. Betsy says that Washington, D.C. is getting to both of them, and so maybe some time apart in different areas would help. And she is grateful that Bobby has agreed to go with him. 3:15 p.m. In Waco, Dara and Ken join the Texas Tech Red Bandits to enjoy snacks and wait for takeoff. 4:20 p.m. Jim and Betsy, along with their companion, Walt Lipscomb, with his wife Faye, board the private jet that would take them from Bowling Green, Kentucky to Washington, D.C. Walt had decided to join Jim on the Phoenix leg of the trip, which they would depart Monday morning. 5:45 p.m. The private plane carrying Jim and Betsy, Walt and Faye depart from Bowling Green, Kentucky back to Washington, D.C. 7 p.m. Eastern. The Hendrick plane lands in Washington, D.C. And the party gets into Betsy's car to drive to the mansion. On the plane, they had some Venetian spaghetti served by the chef. Once at home, Betsy learned to commit that Forever called and said that Kyle's pop petition was blocked at Texas Tech University. 8:20 p.m. The private jet carrying the Texas Tech Red Bandits swimming team taxis down the runway and departs for Lubbock. 9:25 p.m. Halfway back in Lubbock, I disembark, and as the rest of the team boards the bus to go to campus. Unfortunately, we scrambled around to look for Darren and found him in some hangar garage, and he took us back to campus. 1:05 a.m. Eastern. In the mansion study connected to the mansion library, Jim is working on some stuff for church. 7 a.m. Central. Gerald has their breakfast at the Spirit Club with Jennifer Bowers. 2:35 p.m. In the mansion bedroom, master room in Washington, D.C. Jim pours himself a drink, and he tells Betsy that he's had enough of Matt Lowry, the pastor, discounting him. She tells him that while she is with her mother, and he tells her that while she is with her mother, he will not be attending church. 3:20 p.m. Central. Was not in my best mood when I sat down to study for economics class tomorrow. Certainly school had about had a bad taste in my mouth. Sunday school left a bad taste in my mouth in the church. And so I didn't even go grab anything at the Holy Spirit Club. Instead, I went and had lunch with Charlie Nation over at the Wiggins House Dining Hall. $5:20 p.m. Jim, Walt Lipscomb, and Scotty Underwood decided to go for a little half-hour swim in the pool. Dinner tonight was waffles, an Italian sausage hamburger topped with spaghetti sauce, 3 cheeses, and onions with garlic. His grandma Hendrick had given him his mother that recipe sometime after she discovered that she was pregnant with Jim. 7 p.m. Eastern. In the family dining room, waffles are being served. Scotty was familiar with them whenever he had dinner with Jim before he resigned in 1991. Walt and Faye, however, were not familiar with them. Jim was annoyed, however, when at dinner, Christine and Amy Kathleen were shooting icy glitters at one another. "If you two come here to fight, get up from the table," Jim said. Amy Kathleen got up, took the keys to her car, and met Greg at the Presbyterian Church. 7:10 p.m. Central. This is for the 23rd. Baked chicken was for dinner at the Spirit Club that night. And now, Jennifer Bowers and I were sitting there together listening to Reverend Williams. October 24th, 1994, 5:55 a.m. Eastern. The caravan of cars take off from the Hendrick Mansion in Chevy Chase, Potomac, bound for Dulles International Airport. They would stop by Betsy's plane first for her to board to go see her mother, and then get on their plane. 6:15 a.m. Jim, Walt, Faye, Avery, Dave, Grace, along with Cowboy Joe, Paul Campermeyer, all board the Hendrick jet, bound to depart for Phoenix. 6:30 a.m. Eastern. As Jim and his dream team taxis down the runway and depart Washington, D.C. for Phoenix, Betsy's plane taxis down the runway, carrying Betsy and little Thomas as they head back to Midland, Texas. 6:30 a.m. Central. Cinnamon rolls and donuts were being served for breakfast as I sat down with Brent Clark and C.B. Coleman. "I'm sorry you lost your bid in the swim team, but look at it this way," C.B. said. Tech spanked Kansas State Saturday, 48-10. Look at it this way. You'll be present this Friday when we debate the University of Dallas. 8 a.m. Central. Nothing to do but that I had to go to the Center for Public Affairs Library to study some economics data. No Jennifer Bauer. Her family was to be here this week, and so I wouldn't see her until Sunday. 9 a.m. Central. Betsy's plane arrived in Midland. She smells the West Texas air and goes into her mother's Pontiac Trans Sport, being driven by Thomas. 9:10 a.m. Arriving at the ranch, Betsy has Arnaldo, one of the servants, put up her bags. She and Liz was still on the front porch drinking lemonade. 8 a.m. MST. Arriving in Phoenix, Jim is overjoyed to find out that Walton Fay had set up a Mercedes stretch limo to take the whole Hendrick party to the resort mansion. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Night. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network. Stay tuned for part 2 of Power Play Counting the Days. Get ready for the rest of the adventure because it's going to be a bit more interesting from here.